Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 8th grade, The Big Picture. What we're going to be looking at today is the year at a glance. Now the first thing I want to look at is the fact that we as humans, too often we think in compartments. And what that means is that we see that compartment G has nothing to do with compartment F, which has nothing to do with compartment E, and so on and so forth. And in our world, what that means is that we don't see that language arts has anything to do with social studies, has anything to do with science, has anything to do with math, and all of our electives. On a smaller scale, what that also means is that we don't see that what happens in Unit 1 affects Unit 2, or 3, or 4. And unfortunately, if we think that way, it's a disaster. The compartments matter. And so, in order to help you understand that today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the end in mind. I don't want us to start with Unit 1. I actually, in fact, want us to start with Unit 4. And the reason is because what I understand as a teacher is that what we have to do is we have to begin with the end. And what that means is if I want to test you on something, first I have to figure out what I'm going to do, what activities, what lessons I'm going to do to help you learn the material so that I can, in fact, test you on that. And so this year, what we are going to be focused on is, as a whole, what does it mean to lead an authentic life? That's our essential question for Unit 4. That's the end of the year. And in order to help us with that, we're going to read things like Into the Wild and passages from Leaves of Grass and On Walden Pond. But those are not the only things that we're going to be using to help us answer that question. In fact, we'll be using Unit 1. And in Unit 1, we're going to ask how and why is truth manipulated. And we'll read the short stories The Telltale Heart, The Emperor's New Clothes, The Landlady, The Elevator, The Hitchhiker. All of these things will help us answer not only the Unit 1 essential question, but help build toward Unit 4. And so will Unit 2, when we ask ourselves what shapes our sense of morality, while we read To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Furthermore, our Unit 3 question is going to help us build towards answering our Unit 4 question, and in this one we're going to ask what role should ethical and cultural considerations play in the advancement of society, and we'll read Flowers for Algernon. Now, I understand that all of us are asking now, so what are we going to do? How are we going to do that? How are we going to answer these questions? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to practice being critical thinkers. And as critical thinkers, we will ask clear and precise questions, gather and analyze relevant information, interpret it and test its worthiness, be open to other points of view, and communicate with others in a collaborative effort to solve problems. Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to ask clear and precise questions. And what that means for us in class is we're going to use things like the right question, ALR, or ask, listen, and respond, and notice and note questions, where we ask the text questions. Then we're going to gather and analyze that relevant information. And there's many things that we're going to do here. For one, we're going to do WebQuest, where we think about the unit beforehand. We're going to do independent reading on a daily basis. We'll do our signpost notes, where we interact with the text and ask it questions. We're going to do one-pagers and mandalas in between our reading and writing in a way to get our thinking set before we start that writing. And then finally, we're going to do prompt writes, where we take all the thinking that we've done and we put it out up onto the page. Well, what's important also is that we be open to other points of view. And how we're going to practice this is we're going to be using things like the opinion continuum, philosophical chairs, and reframing matrices. Also, we'll use our small and large group discussion, and this will help us to address the opposition in our writing. This is a very important thing that we're going to do in 8th grade, where we have to think about both sides of the coin, not just about our argument, but how other people might counter our argument. Now, in order to help us do all of this, we're going to collaborate with others to help us solve our problems. And I think this is very important. As individual, we are strong, but as a group, we are even stronger. So some of the things that we're going to do are we're going to do Socratic circles, gallery walks, we'll team write, where we'll move about the room and all of us will work towards producing one piece of writing. We'll do the right question again, because that's a great way where we work together. And then small and large group discussion. So, what does it all mean? What it all means is that we are going to have a great time in language arts. We're going to practice being critical thinkers. We're going to practice being active readers. We're going to practice argumentative writing. And we're going to practice getting better every single day.